So, our next guest and the speaker tonight is someone very, very special. We have Genevieve, who's the senior instructional designer for your favorite Roblox, which is the world's largest user generated social platform for play. So, by creating educational content and advising educators worldwide on how to use Roblox in STEAM based learning programs, more students are going to be empowered. And without further ado, I'm going to quickly welcome Genevieve. Genevieve, over to you. We've just been waiting.
Hello, everyone. It's so good to be here. I've been excited about this all week. So I've been working at Roblox for the last 4 years. And let's see, I know I have some students who are off camera or on camera. Are they on right now? Cool.
Yes, they are. Some of them are facing a little bit of a technical glitch, but I'm sure some of them can participate.
No problem. All right. So to you guys who are in the classroom with me, so to speak, sometimes I'm asked questions. And so really what I want to do is just like to be able to get like your opinion. I want to know more about why you guys are here and what you want to learn. So feel free to answer the question. And during the same time, I'm going to have some polls for you guys because I want to know why you guys want to make games and why you guys are here. But I'm really, really super happy to be here. And I think we're good to go.
Yep, absolutely. So we also have Sadhya, Mahe, Ria, Parth, Advait, and Manav. I hope your cameras are on and you're all set as Genevieve takes it from here.
So as I was saying, my name is Genevieve. Give me just a second. I'm going to share my screen out so I can show you some of the things that I work on. And I can talk to you a little bit about creating on Roblox. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about what Roblox is. I'm going to talk about who's involved, like how is it made, and then I'm going to have some time for a Q&A. So the first thing I want to ask, and I have a bunch of stuff behind, so just so you guys know, is what is Roblox? And I want you guys, my little classroom here, to answer this for me. Who's got an answer? Like they say, what is Roblox in your opinion? Go ahead and tell me.
Roblox is a game where there's like characters and there's going to be like hobbies and fun things to do. And kids, they can always add more games into Roblox. So it's a good place for gamers and for coders.
All right. Anyone want to add something to that?
Yes, I want to do. Roblox is just like Minecraft, but it is way more better. Means I like it more than Minecraft.
Well, we appreciate that. I also like Minecraft. You can like multiple different, creative experiences.
But I most likely like Roblox.
Oh, thank you. Okay, and Ria.
So I think that it's like kind of a platform where people can also make games. They don't have to just play them. You can also make games. And it also has like a lot of stuff that a lot of games don't, like you can add friends and chat and stuff.
Yeah. So all of these things that you guys have said really are what Roblox is and more. So Roblox is a global platform, meaning it's all across the world. And every day people are coming together and they're like going to imagine, they're going to like role play and they're going to take on different characters. They're going to create, they can share their own experiences and they can share those experiences out with their friends. So we saw a Roblox game earlier. So, whoever made that, they can actually just share it and like anyone in the world can play it. And that's just such a cool thing. So I think we have a poll for everyone, not just in my little classroom, but, also I'm my little classroom, who actually wants to learn how to make these big 3D experiences or little 3D experiences. All of you guys, maybe you never thought about it. Maybe you like games and they're like, I don't know, maybe I can't, maybe that's not me, but you guys all want to make games. Okay, we're gonna give the poll just a second. And I hope, maybe if right now you are thinking like, I don't know, maybe I want to be something different. You can, lots, okay, 93% of you want to make games. That's really cool. And a couple of you guys have never thought about it. And some of you are like, I don't, maybe. But even for you guys who said, I want to be something else, what's really cool is if you understand game development and if you understand coding, then you can share a lot of that world with it as well, or with people. All right. So the next question I want to ask is like, why? Why do you want to make games? Why do people make games? So I want to talk about the few different reasons why, like I meet people, and so right now, 56% of you guys answered, like you want to make games to make other people happy. I think that's the most common answer I ever get. Like people want to share joy with the world. They want to share the things that make them happy. And that could be just about anything in the world. So people who are like, I really love animals can share their love of animals. They could be, I really like sports, and they can make a sports world. Or they're like, I really like this, storytelling. And I just want to create a big immersive place where I can hang out with my friends. And it's not like a game the way that other people think of games. Like it doesn't have a beginning or an end. It's some place where you can come and you can explore this particular world or learn something new. What type of games do you guys want to make? I want to know more about that. So in my classroom, okay, Mahara, what kind of game do you want to make? Go ahead and answer.
I would like to make a game that will help make the earth healthy, so like it will reduce the trash amount on earth, and it will save creatures' lives so that they don't die due to plastic waste or any other kind of waste, and then tell them to put them in recycling bins and stuff instead of just throwing it on the ground.
That's beautiful. And that actually that goes really well with my next question. But I'm going to first go, Ria, you had your hand up?
Since a lot of kids have they think like school is boring and stuff, I think probably like a game that would be educational, but kind of more of a game. So it's kind of like fun for them to learn, and it's not seen as like boring or something that they have to do.
Yeah. All right. One last question. I'm going to move on. Here, you had your hand up so nicely. You can type it. You can type your answer in chat if you can't figure out how to get off mute, and then we'll take a look at your answer in chat so you can share it with us. Oh, yeah. There you are.
I want to make a game that is like a parkour game. It's really fun.
Okay, so we have some great answers. You want to teach people things, you want to share things, you want to like have fun. All right, so what type of skills or what type of people do you have to have together to make games? Like who makes games?
Children or other programmers?
Perfect. Yeah. Anyone else have a good answer? Like Sadia, do you have an answer for who, like what types of people make games?
Coders.
Yep. Parth, what do you have? You guys are being very good about muting and between.
So I think that game developers and people who are in the gaming background, they can make games.
Yeah, so lots of different types of people come together. So you'll have artists who are making all of the different like items you see in the world. You'll have coders who are making things happen. They're the ones that like make the game to come to life. You have musicians who control what the game like sounds like. Have you ever played like a game without music and you're like, and you play it like you play a scary game with music and you start feeling really tense, or you like go to a world and it's just like a peaceful forest and it's got peaceful music and that makes you feel really peaceful. So there's all these different parts of a game and of 3D worlds that come together to make it, and it takes lots of different people. Some people do make worlds all by themselves, but I think as you want to get better and you want to make these more elaborate, like giant 3D universes, then typically you're going to want to team up with your friends. So last thing I want to ask before we do our demo is who can tell me what code is? Like what does code do?
So code is what makes everything run. So you add all your design, and then to make the game actually run and function, you have to add code, such as moving around or picking things up. So all of those functions that you want to add in your game, you have to use code to do that.
Perfect. That's like exactly. Obviously, you have used code before. Manal, it looks like you had your hand up on as well. Do you want to talk about like what is code?
Yeah, people used to use code to design creative things like games, apps, and all, and they can even really solve problems that are caused.
Okay, and Sadia?
To make apps, like the programmers use coding to make apps, build websites, and games.
Perfect. Yeah. So you guys are all very knowledgeable about what code is. A lot of people think that you have to be like super, super smart to code or really, really good at math or that it's boring. And the truth is, really, anyone can code. Anyone can come in and make things. And really, coding is about making things come to life. It's about being really creative. So the more that you know how to code, the more you can make things, and you can make things that people have never seen before. So I'm going to show you guys now a little bit about what I do to make games. Have you seen Roblox Studio? You guys all made games?
Yes.
Yeah.
I made a
Yes.
little game.
All right. Well, we have a lot of people in the audience who have never made games before, or their parents are here. So I'm going to show them a little bit about how I make games and how I make 3D worlds, and then a little bit of code. So let's see. I'm going to show you guys back here. So here, this is a bunch of different instances of Roblox Studio. So these are some of the worlds that I've worked on, or some of my friends have worked on. So like this is one you guys might be familiar with. So me and a team of just like a couple other people, really, we worked on this together all at the same time, you know, and we had an artist who made us the assets. We had our friend Laker who helped like make the code, you know, and then I actually got to build the environment and everything like that. So that's one type of game. So we have another one where this is a library. So I kind of want to show you guys, like there's lots of different, you know, worlds that you can build. So this is a nice quiet library you can come in. And then this is kind of like where I think a lot of people start is like, you guys know what this is called? Want to tell me what type of game is this?
Obby.
Yeah, it's an obby. So a lot of times this is the first world a person will make. This is actually my very, very first Roblox world that I ever made. Like this is it. It's not very impressive. Every single person in this phone call or on Zoom here can make this. You guys can do better than this. Like your games, like you guys are looking at like, I'm not impressed. This is, yeah. You know, was your game better than this? I think so.
My first game was also Obby.
Yeah. So it's a great place to start because you can kind of just learn about working with 3D shapes. You learn how to work in a 3D world. And that's something that lots of different programs have you do. Like maybe if you want to be an architect, you got to start looking about, you know, working in 3D space, or if you want to make movies or something like that, or be an animator. But this is a very common place for people to start. And I'm actually going to show a little bit about how that's done. So give me a second. So I'm actually going to make a new world. So all of the places we just saw, they all start looking like pretty much like this, like, you know, big blue world. This is how you guys started off, just like, you know, and it's just like a big blank canvas for whatever you can imagine. So if I want to make an obby, which is the game that we just saw, that sort of platformer. So the first thing I'm going to do, so I can have a great big empty world, is I'm going to delete this base plate. I'm going to go pretty quickly, because I just want to give you guys an idea of how the tools work for those who have never seen it before. And I want to show you guys that really, like I said, anyone who is on this call right now, who is attending and watching this, you guys can definitely make Roblox games, 100%. And the people, you know, here can teach you how. So I'm going to make a part. It's going to show up right in the center of my camera. So what's something that you have to think about? Like as I'm making a 3D world and I'm making
Are you presenting?
Am I presenting?
Yeah.
Oh, the share stop. It says I'm sharing.
Yeah, you are presenting.
Okay, good. Maybe you have to switch views. But that's a good question. If I hadn't been presenting this whole time and you guys are like, it's been nice looking at your face, I appreciate it. You should definitely tell me if I stop presenting and I'm talking like I'm showing something. But all right, so I've got this block. I want you guys to tell me a little bit about the considerations, like as, you know, let's pretend like this is the game that you're making what kind of choices do you have to make here? Like, what are you thinking about? Like to make a good obby, should I make this jump really, really hard?
First, you have to make it easy. Then when you go level wise, it should be harder.
Yeah, exactly. So you're like, all right. And that's something that sometimes people don't understand. You're like, you're just putting shapes down. It's like, well, you have to make a lot of decisions. You have to think about the user, just like any other app or game that you're making. You have to think about like, is this too hard? Is this too easy? And you have to think about, are they having fun? We said earlier, we want people to come and have fun in our worlds. So if I make this really, really hard, what's going to happen?
No one's going to have fun.
No one's going to have fun. No one's going to play. So really good designers. It doesn't matter if you're making a game or if you're making a beautiful 3D space or if you're recreating history or teaching them, you have to make sure that, you know, you don't start off too hard, because then you get really, really frustrated and you just, you know, you don't keep going. You know, you don't think like, oh, I want to play this. You just move on to something else.
Start from easy and then gradually grow the difficulty level.
Yeah, and to show you guys like how easy this is to get going, I can actually test my world right now. I've not made any code, but I can see like, oh my gosh, what do you think those parts are? Does that look easy to you guys? I made it, but
yeah, it kind of looks easy.
I think I should. I think I should fix it. I think they need to be a little bit closer. And this is what's called the design process. So if I was an engineer making a piece of software, or even like as a game developer making games or making 3D worlds, this is where I make something, I test it, and then I'm going to go and make some changes because I decided it was a little too hard for a first-time player. Let's see if that's better. Okay, that's a lot better for the beginning. Like I think just about anybody can make that compared to the last one. All right, so I'm pretty happy with that. That's called the design process, where you make something, you test it, you should probably get other people to test it, and then you make changes, and you kind of keep doing that. So as I'm in here, I can keep playing with the color, I can make things different colors, I can change what things look like. And actually probably one of my favorite things to do is to work with the terrain. Have you guys ever made terrain and worked with terrain? This is my very favorite thing to do. So I can pick out if I want to use water or dunes or canyons, and I can generate that. You can see, like, I love watching the world come in. So this is a 3D generated world. All my parts just got covered up, but that's not a big deal. I'm gonna move them. As soon as they're done, I'll move them. I can delete it if I want, or I can decide I liked it. A lot of times what I'll do if I'm working with a world is I'll start on something like this, and then I'll start making changes to it. So I can work with the tools like the edit button. Do you guys know how I would make changes? Can anyone tell me which button I should click? It's kind of small. So what I'm gonna do actually is I can use the paint button, and then that actually gives me choices as to like how I want this world to look. So if I want this to be snowy, I can cover it all in snow. I can cover the mountains in snow. If I want there to be water, I can pick the water button. And now I have water. I can add terrain. I can make new mountains if I want to. So I've got new hills. And I can test this out too. My world. So now I can go swimming in it. And I have a brand new world. So let's say that I'm making an obby. And I'm gonna show you guys something. So right now, before, if I didn't make it, what happened? My character had to reset, right? What's gonna happen now? If I fall down, I'm nice and safe. But I don't really want that to be nice and safe. So this is where I can start using code. So I've got this cool looking world. I really like it, but I want some more things to happen. I want to change how it behaves. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this part right now. I'm going to make a quick little script that whenever I touch this part, it's going to destroy whatever it touches. Have you guys worked with code before? Have you worked with Lua? A little bit. So this is the coding language Lua. And I like doing this in front of people because I'm not really good at typing, and I'm really bad at typing while I talk. But what I like showing people is that it doesn't matter how long you've been doing this, and I've been doing this a long time. Sometimes you make mistakes in code. So we'll see. Maybe I'll get it right on the first time. Maybe I'll make mistakes. But the first thing I want to do is going to create a variable. And I'm going to go kind of fast. Don't worry about it if you don't understand all of it. Really just want to show you how quickly you can make a big change to the world. And then later, if that looks really interesting, you can come in and then actually learn how to code on your own, and then you can learn what all these words mean. Or if you use a different programming language, like let's say you use Java or you use Python or even Scratch, you'll have a better idea what all these words mean. Let's see. So we go local.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Yeah, is that JavaScript or any other Python?
So this looks a lot like Python. It's actually called Lua. So it's a totally different language, and I really like it because it's not a lot of typing.
Did Roblox make this script, like the language?
So we didn't. So this is actually a language that existed before Roblox. but we picked it because we really wanted young people to come in and be able to make their own games. So this is a good question. And we picked it because it's really easy to read compared to a lot of programming languages, and there's way less typing. So the first thing I did is make a variable, and I assigned it. Like in most programming languages, that would take a lot more typing. But here, it doesn't take so long, which makes it easy for me to actually show to you guys. So what I'm going to do is I made a variable up there, that's going to destroy, called part. So I'm going to destroy the part. So whenever something touches that part, I want them to be destroyed, whether that's a person's feet or if that's something else. So now we're going to go part. There's a concept called events. Have you guys ever used events with like, yeah. So there's events in Roblox too, just like there are in other coding languages or there are with Scratch. Events are basically like a signal that fires so that you know that something happens. And see, look, I had a typo right there, but it's cool. My friend here, the compiler helped me out and fixed it. And I'm gonna connect my function to run. So like this is a tiny, 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 tiny little script. But what's really, really cool is even with just this much code, I can completely change how this world behaves. So right now this is blue. That would look really, really weird in the obby. So I'm gonna actually make it transparent. I'm gonna make it actually so you can just barely see it just for our purposes for testing. And hopefully I put it underneath. All right, can I see my blue block? I don't know, I think it's here. Oops, it wasn't underneath me after all. What I really like showing, see, this is what, when you work in 3D worlds, you always have to be looking at things from multiple angles. And this is why I like showing my mistakes, because people tend to think like, oh, I made a mistake. I'm not very good. I'm never going to be an engineer. And it's like, everyone makes mistakes. Everyone will keep making both like new mistakes. I make new mistakes I've never made, in new code all the time, but I make mistake in code I've done before all the time. I'm also going to anchor this in place so it doesn't move. So let's see if this works now. How many mistakes did you guys make when you first started? And if you guys never make mistakes, you guys made so many mistakes, right? So,
well, yes, like when I first started coding, I made a lot of mistakes. Sometimes I felt like giving up, but later on, I just literally, just say to myself that everything has like every single literally to gain success, we need to go through many failures.
Yeah. So what I did, and I said, I've typed this exact piece of code literally hundreds of times, but I made a mistake. And I'm like, all right, it's not working. So I came back to look at my code, and what I saw is I destroyed the wrong thing. I was actually destroying the part that was that was resetting instead of whatever touches it. I was just moving it so I can touch it. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll move things so I can touch it, but now I can't reach it. I'm gonna stop one more time. I'm so glad I'm like making all these mistakes now. Like yesterday I was working and I was like, oh, it all looks so perfect and easy. And I'm like, so I would test. That's a good place to test. So what should happen actually probably is I'm gonna land on this and my feet are gonna disappear. I like showing that because, yep, there we go. So I land on this block and it destroys whatever it touches, but because it's code, it only does exactly what I tell it to. So it only destroyed my feet because only my feet are touching. So I can change one more thing about this block. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off this can collide. And what's not going to happen now is I'm going to pass right through the block. And as I do, everything's going to get destroyed. See? So that's something I like showing because it shows you like how quickly like this world can change with just a little bit of code. So you can make so much stuff happen. So you can have like the game that we saw earlier where there's like those cool like blocks you had to pull like jump over. And you have like the checkerboard, so you can create all kinds of patterns and all kinds of things that you want. All right, so I know like we started a little bit late. I think I just had a couple more questions for you guys. So I think we're on time. So this is the bit of code that I just showed you guys. So this is a really simple code. If I wanted to make sure that I destroyed like the entirety of the humanoid, what I would do is I would actually have to add a little bit more code to make sure that I got not just the part that touches, but like everything so that belongs to the person. So you can do that with more code. And that's sort of an example of, you can start off with really simple code that does one specific thing, but as you get better, you can make better code that can take care of more situations, and that, well, instead of just destroying your feet, will destroy like anything that belongs to the feet, including the whole entire player. All right. So earlier you guys started answering this question. I was like, I don't know, this is a question I was going to ask, here, but how can we help the world by making 3D worlds?
I think you can make like 3D games to share awareness of things. Like, for example, you can make a 3D game talking about pollution or global warming, so that it's a fun and interactive game that people will play more. And the more people play it, the more they'll learn about worldwide problems.
Yeah, that's an excellent question. Who else has an answer? What kind of things?
So we can create some games for children to learn what to do or not. For example, if they do wrong things in the game, they will lose some points or something like that. And if they do good things, they will gain some points.
Nice. Let's see, more answers. How can we make a better place? What about like literature? Can you learn how to like read and write with, on Roblox?
Yeah, we can make a game from we can learn coding.
Absolutely. People do that. They learn coding on Roblox, through games. All right. So if you were to make any game right now, what game would you make to make the world a better place? We heard about like
a pollution game where, similarly to what someone said, that if you help, like in the game, if you clean up pollution, you get points. And if you do pollution, you lose points. And also there's text in the game that shows as you're playing what is good about pollution and what's, what you can do to help pick up pollution and stop it, so that it's a fun learning experience and people can learn more.
All right. Go ahead.
One more thing. I would like to make a game that when it will tell you tasks, show you tasks, and when we do it, they give us money or in real life.
Well, what some worlds do, some experiences,
the task, yeah.
Or, it's cool. You can actually make, this actually is a good thing for the next slide. So how does making all of these 3D experiences prepare you for the future, even if you're not going to become a game developer? But if you are going to become a developer on Roblox, then what's really cool is that the people on there who make really, really good games are the ones that people spend a lot of time in. You can actually earn real money. So you earn Robux, and then those can be converted to actually real money. So we've had people who have put themselves through college, like by making worlds on Roblox. We've had people who have bought their parents' houses. Or a lot of times, they'll actually have enough that they can start helping other people go through college. There's one developer on Roblox who did just that. He came from a background where he had a hard time, affording college. So he made enough money that he started offering grants and offering loans to other people so they can go to college. But all right, so that's so you can actually make a career with game development. But it's really, really cool is all these skills that you've just learned, like you're talking about not being afraid of mistakes. Like if you make mistakes, are getting over being frustrated and testing things to make sure that they're fun and that they work. Those are actually skills that can apply no matter what you're doing. Like whether you're going to be an engineer who is developing software, like new software that no one's ever seen before, or if you're trying to be a scientist and you want to figure out how a particular virus works, or how what's going on with nature or the climate, you're going to make lots of theories and you're going to make lots of mistakes, and it can be really easy to get frustrated. But I think going through this, you just learn that mistakes are part of the process. How many mistakes did I make today? I made a lot of mistakes, but that doesn't mean I'm bad, and that doesn't mean that you're bad. It means that I just need to do it again. And that's a really important skill to have, no matter what you're gonna be. And the other thing is if you're gonna be a game developer, if you want to get hired by other people, or you want to run your own company, by starting now, you'll actually have a portfolio. You'll have things that you can show to colleges and to show to potential employers in the future, where you can show like, hey, I've already done all of this. So anything that how do you guys feel about that? How do you think it prepares you for your future?
I think it's a great
You can
idea and a
create
great
apps,
career.
such as, for example, a person has to find a job and he finds it. And he does not know what to do exactly in this job. We can create an app to explain him what is his role and what he has to do.
Yeah, that's a great answer.
We just have one question for you, just mindful of the time which people had. Okay, so the one question that our students want to know, the answer that our students really want to know is, what is the best way to leverage the customized Roblox templates that we've curated for them?
So I say go in and take them and figure out how they work. So if you're looking at something, you can take a look at the scripts. So you can actually see how things were made. You can also go ahead and change things. So you can change it slightly, so you can make it look like your world. You can bring in new things. You can change it from daytime to nighttime. You can also take things like the template that you guys are working on right now. It's got these particles, so you can actually bring in your own particle effects. You can make it look exactly like yours. You can even draw particle effects if you really, really wanted to, take it even farther. So what's cool is that you can take something that exists and you can start making little changes, and that'll teach you how to work in a larger world, and you can keep changing more and more about it as you become comfortable. So I would say just keep making it your own. So take it, learn from it, and then change, everything about it. Swap out the houses, make it look different. The more that it looks different, the better you're going to feel about it.
Wow. So make it different. Awesome. Beautiful answers. I think there's just one last question coming in from the parents. So we'll take that. And that question is that, parents are really worried about the kids hooked on to their screens most of the time. Can you focus on the key skills that children learn while they are playing games, particularly for the parents?
Yeah, so even while playing, there's a lot of things that they're learning about communication that might not be immediately obvious. In order to play, you've got to be able to communicate what you're doing. You get a lot of times they're talking about what's going on, and so these teamwork skills have a direct translation to working in the workplace as you're trying to communicate. I'm taking care of this part, or you're taking care of that part, as well as teaching you critical thinking. So, there's lots of different ways to learn and to play, and to have fun as you're learning. And you can be using those skills to solve problems, to solve puzzles, to improve your language skills. And they've shown actually through studies that these things do happen as children are taking on the roles or whatever it may be within these 3D worlds. There's worlds on Roblox where people are taking on the roles of different NASA engineers and scientists and astronauts, and different, people will be in the launch bay and other people are up in the shuttle and they're talking to each other. So this role playing is actually a really important part of development for young people.
Perfect. So thank you so much, Genevieve, from the audience. This was such a fantastic and insightful session. Have a fantastic day ahead.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.